of I screwed up. I'm doing this on a mobile device just because I really can't get the webcam down here, down like here and underneath the desk, because I want to show you guys the guts and what I was talking about with graphics cards and all that, and loose wires and all that fun stuff. So without further ado, this power supply right here, this lovely thing, is the Corsair CX600. As you can see in Thor here, he's running the same power supply. But this power supply was having issues, and by having issues, we're talking about I'd be playing a game, and then all of a sudden the thing would just completely crash on me, and then it would reboot. But when it would reboot, the monitor wouldn't go on. So for me, that spelled it was either the power supply I was having issues, or it was the graphics card. This is a look inside Loki. Loki is the gaming PC, because I do run a dual PC setup. And right now it's running the CX500, which is the replacement power supply that I decided to use. Really not much difference. The only reason why I chose the CX500 over the 600 was because it was the only thing that was available. The CS600 wasn't available on Newegg, so I got the 500 instead. But this graphics card here was the one that I was thinking that was the issue. So basically I did a little experiment. Since both PCs are running the same power supply, I went ahead and swapped out the graphics card. And what this really helps us distinguish is it the graphics card? Because if it's the graphics card, then the same issue is going to happen over on Thor. So I did that, ran smoothly, ran for several hours without having any issues. So that's when we concluded it was the power supply. And we swapped out the power supply. And now it's working like a charm. Now the one thing, as you'll notice, is because I'm running two power supplies, or the same power supply in different machines, that was before the thing blew. What's really helpful is, oh, I'm upside down. Let's see. There we go. What's really helpful is when you run the same equipment on two machines, if something fails, it's really easy to troubleshoot because you have the same hardware. So if you are going to be running a dual PC setup, I highly recommend that you get as much as possible the same components or the same manufacturer, because that will really help you when you're trying to troubleshoot issues and stuff. Now, one thing that can happen that you should be aware of before you're just chucking the power supply are cables. And let's go back here. We're going to switch over back here and go to Loki. See how Loki's doing. This guy right here, this big, let's let it focus, that big cable that's leading down to the power supply, that cable was also having some issues in the beginning. It was either a loose connection or the wires weren't snugged in properly. The best way to do that is just to make sure that your wires are snug. Pull the wire, what I recommend is pulling the wire out, and then just making sure that the connection from the actual port that's on the cable, here, let me show you an example. So like this right here, I don't know if this will focus, but making sure that this, yeah, it's not going to focus, oh well. Basically making sure each of these individual holes, making sure that the wire that is connected to that hole is in securely. So that's one way of making sure. Also, if you, I don't know if you can see it, but if you see some of the gray there, that's metal surrounding the actual hole there, where the pins actually seat in. Just making sure none of that is damaged, as well as the pins itself. Actually checking the pins itself and making sure the pins aren't bent or seared or anything like that. because if they are, that can also cause an issue as well. So when you're troubleshooting power supply stuff, definitely recommend first checking the connections, both on the actual cables as well as the cable leading into the surge protector or the outlet. That's another area that I forgot to mention, is making sure that the connection to that is actually good. But yeah, so it took a couple days to try to figure out, a couple days just because I didn't have time to troubleshoot everything on one foul swoop. But it did take a while. Troubleshooting like that, if you go through systematically what what the issue could be, will definitely help out. So if you're getting symptoms such as your monitor's turning off intermittently, your PC's turning off intermittently, and it's coming back on, it could be a power supply issue. But definitely, go through some troubleshooting techniques. Check for loose wires. Check for the actual cables delivering the power from the outlet or the surge protector. Make sure the outlet itself is actually functioning, and also make sure that the cable itself is functioning before you rule out power supply, or before you roll out that cable. And then obviously check your graphics card if your monitor's turned off intermittently, and make sure that that's okay. If you have any questions regarding symptoms like this or similar to this, definitely tweet me, email me, post in the comments below, and I will definitely would love to help you out, and so that way we can get your problem resolved, and hopefully you guys are able to pick up some nuggets of truth for how to troubleshoot and how to deal with power supply issues like this. So yeah, if you have any questions or any comments on how I can do better, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to head out. Tomorrow is going to be Ghost Productions. We're going to be doing an intro into what to consider when you want to go into streaming or a local recording. How do you start up a YouTube channel? How do you start up a stream channel? What are the differences, and what type of hardware and software you're looking at getting into? So we're going to be starting that in the first episode of Ghost Productions, so hopefully we'll see you then. Alrighty, peace out.